In this video, I'm going to do a review of the Industry 9 Ultralight or UL300 wheels that I got for my transition spur dream build. And I want to talk about the pluses and a couple minuses of this wheel set. So this is Industry 9's top of the line cross-country wheel set. It is a sub 1400 gram wheel set, 1385 to be exact, and I weighed them on my scale and I got the exact weight that Industry 9 claims, which is 640 grams for the front and 745 grams for the rear. What makes Industry 9 unique, and they're not the only ones that do this, but it is a direct thread, direct pull spoke. So the spokes thread into the hub as opposed to the rim. The spokes on these, the ones that I have, it's 24 for the front and then the rear is 28. That direct thread, direct pull, and the thicker spokes make them the most precise wheel that I have ever ridden. These are the new Solix hub, Solix M hub, which is a very light hub. The rear hub is a 0.56 degree engagement. You barely turn the free hub and it will engage. So basically what that means is when you're riding, you stop pedaling. When you start pedaling, you will instantly engage. And there are few hubs that have that small of a degree engagement, and it really makes for a nice riding wheel set, especially if you corner a lot. So I ride trails that are really tight and twisty and we're cornering all the time. As soon as you come out of the corner and start pedaling, you will engage the free hub. So these are a carbon wheel, and they make alloy wheels too. They make trail wheels, but this wheel set has a 30 millimeter internal, and that's one of the reasons this wheel set rides so well. Is I'm basically running cross-country tires, so 2.25 up to 2.35, maybe a 2.4, but you can go up to 2.5s on these and still have plenty of support from the rim. So going back to the ride quality, this wheel set, like I said, is the most laterally stiff wheel set I've ridden. Now, I've ridden some pretty laterally stiff wheels. These take it to a whole new level. They actually surprised me. And so what that means when you're riding, to translate that into, you know, how is it going to feel on the trail for you? As soon as you think about turning, you turn the bars and find the line that you want. You know, there are wheel sets that I've ridden, and I've got my stands podiums back on my dream build because I'm swapping back and forth to really understand the ride quality differences between the two wheel sets. But the stands podiums, for example, I thought those were one of the most laterally stiff wheels that I've ridden, and they are very precise. Like I said, these Industry 9 wheels take it to a whole new level. It allows you to really pick the line as precisely as you possibly can. And that is especially helpful when you're going through rock gardens and you're putting a lot of load on the wheels. So maybe you're going downhill, you're on those sections where you're really pushing the front end of the bike, or maybe the back end is getting bounced around. The wheel set is just not bending. It is not moving back and forth. And you don't really know that a wheel set is moving around that much until you get on a wheel set like this. And that's what makes the ride quality of these wheels so unique. The only problem that I've had is the valve stems on these. They're very solid, but the valve cores just kind of got clogged and they don't allow airflow through as well as the stand. So I had to put on a stands valve, which stands valves for some reason are the best that I've ever used. I've had problems with every other tubeless valve stem except for stands. But you can see it's a really solid looking valve stem, but I just didn't get a lot of good airflow through it, and it just completely stopped going through this rear wheel, so I put on the stands. But that's the only problem that I've had with these. Now let's mention the two negatives. One is obviously the cost. Okay, this is a $2,400 wheel set. That is like 5 times the amount of money that I paid for my first mountain bike. Now that was a long time ago, but there are mountain bikes that cost that much. Now I will say, I'll mention the other negative coming up in a minute, but I didn't mention the actual rim itself, how well they hold as tubeless. They are a hookless bead and pretty low, And so what that means is it's going to hold up much better in really rough terrain. So if you for some reason blow through the tire pressure and you hit the rim, you're much less likely to pinch the tire and damage the rim. The other thing is when seating these up, man, they pop into place. I don't have any B-roll of that happening, but I can tell you that when airing these things up, it is a very loud pop. And then to unseat the bead takes some effort. And that really just kind of gives you that confidence that your tires are locked into place. Now, obviously, I'm using tubeless ready tires. They will just completely lock into place. So let's go to the other negative other than cost, and that is these are not the most comfortable wheel set that you will ride, and so they're not for everybody. This wheel set will make you faster, hands down. Now, I've said in other videos that wheels make the biggest difference on a bike of any other component, wheels and tires, but the actual wheel set itself makes the most difference. The great thing about this wheel set is you can take a bike like the Transition Spur, which is not made to be a cross-country race bike. It is a very fast bike, a very versatile bike. Putting on a wheel set like this can take a bike like that and make it, I would argue, as fast as any cross-country bike out there. Not only do you lower the weight, and low weight on the wheels makes the biggest difference in how fast the wheel gets up to speed. So because the spoke system is so stiff, as soon as you pedal, you will transfer that energy into forward momentum. There is like no flex at all when you start to pedal. And so not only is it laterally stiff for picking precise lines, but you also get instant transfer. So that 0.56 degree engagement on the hub and also the stiffness of the spoke system means that when you pedal, your bike will go and you will trim off time off your laps. So going back to who this wheel set is for and honing in a little bit more on that negative. So if you want to go fast, this is your wheel set. If you want to be comfortable on a 4-hour ride on rough terrain, this is not your wheel set. I'll just say that. My hands and wrists get more sore with these wheels versus more compliant wheels. That being said, this is the most fun wheel set. So even if you don't cross-country race, even if you're not trying to hammer out the fastest lap time, if you like the playfulness of a stiff wheel set, being able to pick a precise line, popping in and out of corners with precision, then even if you don't race, I think you would enjoy this wheel set. The reason why I'm switching back and forth with another wheel set is just because I really honestly am trying to decide what's going to be my everyday riding wheel set. Like I said, these are the most fun wheel set I have. When I put these on the Spur, it makes the bike just even more lively. Now that bike has a 66 degree head angle. With this wheel set, man, that bike corners, it's still got the 66 degrees of stability, but it's got the cornering agility of a bike with like a 70 degree head angle. So you get the best of both worlds. But like I said, it is a more harsh riding wheel set, and you will feel the bumps hit harder and faster more than a compliant wheel set. So especially like an alloy wheel set. Like I have the Stans Crest on my new Lee Coogan Rampage Innova. I rode those today, and they are a comfortable wheel set. Still fairly light. They're alloy, but they're still fairly light and fast. When you switch back and forth from a wheel set like that to a wheel set like this, you do notice the rigidity, the harshness. So that is, that's my honest review. To sum it up, if you want an extremely fast, precise, agile wheel set with the sacrifice of comfort, then this is the perfect wheel set for you. And if you need a super compliant, comfortable wheel set, there are other choices out there. Now I will say one last thing before I wrap up the video. There is can be a negative on a very, very precise wheel set, and that is you can bounce off of things. So So even though you can pick a line through rock gardens really precisely, you got to be on your game a little bit more, because you can deflect the wheel off of something easier than if the wheel set had a little give to it and absorb that bump, so it doesn't, you know, get bounced off its line as easily. But you know, that's just the price that you pay for a fun, agile, precise wheel set. Let me know in the comments below. Have you used this wheel set? Have you used the new Solix hub? Let us know what your thoughts are. If you've used it for a while, let us know your long-term experience. Other Industry 9 wheels that out there that maybe aren't quite as harsh riding, let us all know in the comments below. With that, I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.